If there's one thing that can make these hot summer days even worse, it's when you walk out to your car that's been sitting in the sun all day and open the door and that heat just punches you square in the face. You ever thought about maybe doing a little something to keep it cooler while making it look cooler at the same time? Check out Jordan Bycroft on Facebook. Jordan is the man when it comes to window tinting. I have used him for 3 of my vehicles, and I will continue to use him for every vehicle I have in the future as long as he's doing it. The quality of the work is top-notch, and the turnaround time is quick. Trust me, if you've never had a car with window tint, you're missing out. You'll never go back to plain old windows once you get it done for the first time. Your car will look like a brand new vehicle. So, if you ever thought about it, now's the time to pull the trigger. Go to Facebook, search Jordan Bycroft, that's Bycroft, send him a message, and let him work his magic. So I decided to do a little fishing and put out a feeler on social media and see if anyone wanted to do a random podcast, and believe it or not, I got a response. Today's guest is an avid listener to the Weekend Wind Down with Rick. And honestly, he might be the only one. Hopefully not, but he is definitely there every week. He is no stranger to our community. He's been active in the teaching and coaching scene for 20 years or so. Personally, I have always admired his approach to coaching. His passion and knowledge projects onto his athletes and makes them better, not just on the court or field, but off of it as well. He is a silver streak by day, but a blue bullet at night. Please welcome to the Dirty D.O podcast, the new K.H.S head football coach, Mr. Marty Turner. Good morning, Marty, and welcome to the Dirty D.O podcast. Thank you for, I threw out that little fishing line yesterday about you took me up on it, so I appreciate it.
Yeah, appreciate you having me, and look forward to the conversation.
Sorry
to interrupt.
No, I interrupted.
I've been listening to all the episodes, and I've enjoyed them all, so I thought, why not try it out?
That's something I get better at. My mom tells me, you talk a lot when you're with Rick, so sorry for interrupting you. But yeah, I've just been doing the weekly things with Rick, which are always fun. So I haven't done one more interview style. But I guess what's the worst that can happen, right? So how's summer been going?
Oh, good. I'm, been busy, which I, usually am. Enjoying some family time and putting in work with football kids and.
Yeah, so you've been, you also coaching baseball, right?
Yeah, helping out with baseball, helping with the Junior Bullets 12U, and then help with my son's 8U or pitching machine league team.
Right.
So
obviously busy with football. Weights have been going since May, June, whatever. Recently you've started 7-on-7s, correct? You've done 2 of those, 3 of those?
Yeah, we started 7 on. We didn't do anything on the field until after July 4th. You know, when I got the job, I told the kids from day one, I want you to be multiple sport athletes. So it only made sense for us to give them an opportunity to do those things.
Right.
Like wrestling is big in June. They hadn't had the basketball hire yet, but most schools, basketball's big in June. Obviously, baseball's a thing in June, so we lifted in June and then, got on the field in July and had Kewanee and Abingdon down the last 2 weeks and got some good stuff in. So.
That's good. Things looking up?
Yeah, I've been super pleased with, the kids' effort and in the weight room, on the field. There's always things to clean up, but you can tell that the kids are buying in and there's good energy and they are caring about each other, which is huge.
That's good. If you don't have that, you don't have anything else. It's not gonna move on from that. As I mentioned in the intro, and as Marty just mentioned, he is an avid listener of the Weekend Wind Down with Rick. Like I said, he might be the only listener. I don't know, but Rick and I appreciate it. You have offered up some comments and opinions on some of the topics we talk about, whether you agree or just stuff we may have missed, but there's a couple of them, like we'll go over now. I'd like to talk about them. So you've always had a vast knowledge of sports in general and like the local scene of sports and athletes from way back. Like, I'm just a on the surface fan. I don't dive deep, But you had, when Rick and I were talking about our Mount Rushmore of Knoxville basketball, you text and we mentioned John Liston. But I guess, how'd you know all that about John Liston? You said he played for Iowa. I had no idea he played for Iowa.
Yeah, I don't know exactly where I heard about it over the years, but yeah, I definitely know he played for Iowa. And him and Billy Rowe are around the same age, and I think
so.
I think they both led the state in scoring, Billy in football and John in basketball. I could be wrong about that, but for some reason I feel like I heard that somewhere.
I know there's a plaque out there of them, and I'm assuming they were all state, this and that. But I was just, like Rick and I talked about, he probably is on the Mount Rushmore, but we don't know because we didn't watch him. Yeah. But then you said that, and I talked to Rick. He's like, oh, yeah, he's got to go on there then if that's like.
Yeah, and I'm not 100% sure, but right. I feel like I've heard that somewhere, Then
we start thinking, what was John, 6'6", 6'7", maybe?
Yeah, something like that.
Back then, that's probably like 7 foot now. I don't know. And then you got, like you said, Billy Rowe. He was like 5'5",
right? Which
is funny to see their picture out there. But, yeah, I was like, we were interested to hear that because Rick didn't know that either. He had no idea. Was there anyone you felt we left off that Mount Rushmore of Knoxville basketball?
This one's going to be because there's family ties. I felt like Megan Hughes was at least in the conversation on the girls' Mount Rushmore.
Yeah.
She didn't always get a ton of accolades.
Right.
Anyone that grew up in our era.
Oh, yeah.
She was.
I agree.
She was really, really good, and then went on to Blackhawk and played, and she could have moved on after that and just chose not to.
Right.
Of course, being my cousin, I'm going to advocate for that one.
Absolutely. I feel like maybe it was afterwards. Did we mention Megan on the recording?
Not that I remember.
Maybe afterwards, maybe Rick said, I think we forgot Megan or something. I feel like it was brought up. But obviously, it wasn't a snide to her by any means. We knew we'd forget,
Yeah, it's
like
easy
there's all kinds of people you can put on.
Yeah, and it's easy to forget when you're in these conversations. When you're somebody sitting there listening, it's a lot easier.
Right, because so secondly, and most peculiar, I'm going to quote a text that you sent me probably, 3 weeks ago or so after listening to it. It says, Jordan equals overrated. I fucking hate Jordan. So I don't think I'm the only one who's very curious for you to elaborate that Michael Jordan, in your opinion, you're not saying Michael Jordan wasn't good. You're saying Michael Jordan was overrated and shouldn't get the praise that Rick and I were putting him on our lists.
Correct. Definitely one of the best basketball players ever. Here's my thing with Jordan. If his shoe brand did not blow up, it would not nearly made him as popular as what he was, which then makes his basketball, accolades rise, in my opinion. Some things to think about. He never won one playoff series without Pippen.
Okay.
I'm not saying LeBron's better than Jordan, but when you want to have that conversation, everyone goes to LeBron had a super team. The second three-peat, how many Hall of Famers were on that Bulls team?
Right.
They had 4 Hall of Famers on one team. If you want to go down that road, technically he invented the super team.
So I would agree with that. His super team just never changed.
It did. Rodman wasn't there.
But I'm saying, he didn't travel around to, Miami and then back, they brought him to him, essentially.
Correct.
So it wasn't, I guess, as obvious what was going on, trying to build it around him as, So I get it. And I've heard the debate with Jordan and LeBron, and I will always say I think Jordan's number one, but that's not taking anything from LeBron because how many dudes can play at that level how old is he? 40?
Yeah, something like
41?
that. Yeah,
and still pulling it off. And
when LeBron came back to the Cavs, who was on that Cavs team?
Exactly. I agree.
And nothing against, Jordan's, I'm not saying he's not good or anything like that. He's, one of the best ever. There's just more to it
than.
But he never won one playoff series without Scottie Pippen. Not one. He had to have help too. And I think that's where him and Pippen kind of, broke off.
Right. Would you say that Jordan and Pippen are one of, if not the best duo in basketball.
Yeah, I mean, people can say Stockton Malone, but Jordan Pippen beat Stockton Malone twice. And there's all kinds.
I will agree that especially without Pippen next to him, he may have a title or two. I don't know if he'd have 6, but he also had 6 Finals MVPs. Do you agree with those? Should he have gotten all 6?
And to be honest, we were pretty young then.
Right.
Like the first three-peat, remember, but not as better as the second. But to not remember their stats and whatnot, I don't know who else you would have gone with unless somebody outshined them in the series. But I don't remember that happening. So I mean, I don't know how you.
And they typically didn't, and they could have had great numbers, but it was just. I mean, I knew you'd have a more in-depth reason than, like I said, I'm just like face value.
Well, and I would have put Tom Brady. He's up there, in he'd be like 1 or 2 for me when you were doing the countdown last night of guys. But and to me, the reason he is, which is kind of like I'm arguing for Jordan a little bit in this, like. Tom Brady's the best quarterback ever because he was willing to take pay cut after pay cut to ensure that the Patriots would spend money to get guys around him so he could win.
Right.
Where guys like Peyton Manning didn't always do that. And Brady didn't care about the money. He gave up money to get wins. He would restructure his deal every year.
And I don't understand why guys don't do that. Because, God, just when is $100 million not enough?
Exactly.
But I could get $200 million. You don't need it.
Do you want $100 million and win multiple championships, or $200 million and maybe never win one?
Right. That's always blown my mind. Especially in football, because Aaron Rodgers is a perfect example. Dude, spread your money around and you'll win. Yeah. I mean, my God, you'll win. But it's crazy. But anyways. I'm sure you've offered up. I'm sure in the future you'll offer up more, but that was always in my mind to ask you about. And I don't know if I ever told Rick it was you after we stopped recording yesterday.
No, he's
find out know now.
Yeah, that's fine. I like having good sports arguments with Rick anyway. Yeah. So. But a lot of people don't know. I'm not an NBA fan as much anymore, but I was a huge Knicks fan in that era. So that probably played into. Me disliking the Bulls, which I'm still a Knicks fan. I guess I paid attention this year.
I haven't paid attention to the NBA for a long time. I tried to watch some of the playoffs and finals this year, but I just can't get into it.
Yeah, that's how I am.
It's lost its luster for me. But anyways, so we've got that all cleared up. All right, we're going to move into the coaching world. So in the intro of this, which you've not heard yet, I took a guess. You've done it all, and I've guessed roughly 20 years. Yeah. It's in that ballpark.
Yeah, I think this is year 20 or 21.
So when was your first coaching gig? What was it? Where was it?
It was here at Knoxville. I was a junior at Monmouth College, and I'd played, my freshman year at Monmouth, I tore my ACL my senior year in high school in football, but I didn't plan on playing college sports, so I decided I'm going to try to play basketball and baseball on a torn ACL, which I was a part of the team. I wasn't effective. Yeah. But so I pushed off surgery till May, went to Monmouth College, freshman, of course, went through ACL. So, redshirted in my freshman year. But then my sophomore year, I was playing a little bit of JV, and I wasn't really working out how I needed to. I was just kind of a guy on the team, and delivering pizzas up at Alfano's in the summertime between my sophomore and junior year of college, and Coach Fowles and John Hughes come up, and John had a junior high opening for basketball. Toby had an opening for junior high football. So Toby's like, I was supposed to be opening the weight room for you. You never contact me. You're not working out. You're going into education. Do you want to coach? So I'm thought about it. Took me about 2 hours. And I'm like, yeah. So I called Coach Bell, who was a football coach at Monmouth at the time. And he's like, I get it. You're right. You want to be a coach in the future. That's probably the right thing for both. Right. I appreciate the heads up. And so I started off doing junior high basketball and junior high football. But then the situation, I'd leave junior high football practice. They'd do defense at the end. And I was coaching the varsity defensive backs. So I'd come to the Friday night games and help out and do defensive back stuff.
And that would have been what, 2005-ish?
2004, the fall of 04.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I forgot. I knew you did basketball here. I think I forgot about junior high football. Football, obviously, is your main interest, I would assume. I could be wrong. So I guess, what's your quick resume of football? And again, we won't get too deep into the Knoxville, the coaching aspect of this, because we are planning on you're going to have your own weekly gig on Dirty D.O about football. Touch on last week's game, look forward to next week's game, just to, promote the kids, promote the team, promote the school. But just a quick rundown of your resume in the football scene.
Yeah, I started off, like we talked about, in 04 in that fall, and then I was here at Knoxville. Eventually, I think I did junior high football for two-ish years, and then, good friend of mine was coaching with John Newcomb, and we both moved up and did JV, and then I was here at Knoxville to help with JV till 2011. I think I did take 1 year off there in the fall. Because I was looking for a teaching job and whatnot, and things were going on, and so I did take one fall off. Then I came back and volunteered, like 10 and 11 here at Knoxville, and then Coach Doherty got the job at Galesburg and reached out. So in 2012, I started coaching over there and was an JV coach over there for a couple years, and then moved to a varsity assistant and was there until 20 under Coach Doherty and Coach Washaball, and then moved back over here in 21 and been here ever since, helping out. And it's kind of weird because I was thinking through the process, like Coach Washaball, like he was a player on that 04 team and 05, and then he joined staff in 06 after he graduated, and we coached here, and then he left to go to Rock Ridge for 2 years. Well, the year that I came in at Galesburg, he came in at Galesburg. So literally like 16 or 17 years we've been on the football field together.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and we had the conversation. We've been with each other longer than we've been with our wives.
Yeah, that is. I would have never thought about that. It would have never crossed my mind that he is younger than you, and that's crazy. Yeah,
and I've going into a little bit of the current football situation. I had conversations with some of my young coaches. I'm like, if he can ever be around at a game, he's going on the headsets. Like, it's nothing against you guys, but we've worked together for so many years. We speak the same language. Like, if I can use him, I'm going to use him.
Yeah, I would agree with that, and I'm going to touch on that here in 3 questions about something you just said about putting him on the headset. So I guess just get a few more insights. So what is the biggest game you've coached in and why? And I guess it doesn't necessarily have to be football. If there's a basketball that's more memorable, typically I guess junior high basketball isn't going to trump high school football, but maybe. I don't know.
Right, yeah, and my best memories of basketball was as a player. Your guys' senior year, that Abingdon-Knoxville regional game,
I can still hear that whole night. Yeah. I can still see every minute of that game.
Yeah, and I was a sophomore, and Coach called me up during regionals just to be on the bench, be around the environment. That was the coolest basketball environment I was ever in as a player/fan. You know, I mean, I saw some other cool ones as a young kid watching the great groups go through. But football coaching wise, I guess I'll kind of break that down in a couple different situations, like regular season, Galesburg game against Peoria High, and then the regular season game in 21 against A-Town here. We lost that game to A-Town, but Saturday night game, it got moved to Saturday because of officials, and we turned it into a night game. It was an awesome environment.
Right.
Old school Knoxville, Abingdon, both teams really good. That was an awesome environment. The outcome of the game wasn't awesome for us, but it's a cool environment kids will remember for the rest of their lives. Yeah. And then Peoria High, back in 2016, number 1 team in the state. and we pulled off the upset with we lost our starting center, starting quarterback, and starting running back week 8, and we're playing Peoria High week 9, and a crazy game, and ended up pulling off an upset, beat the number 1 team in the state, who ended up going on to win 5A. We're the only team to beat them all year.
Oh, dang.
And we snuck in at 6A, and then in 04, my first year, we played Leroy, and Knoxville football had struggled from 1990 till 04, and Leroy is number 1 in the state, and we knocked them off. So regular season games, like those ones are big ones that stick out. Spin back to that Peoria High game, just personal life. My wife's like 9 months pregnant, like overdue almost. And I leave for that Peoria High game, and she's bouncing up and down on an exercise ball, like trying to induce labor,
right?
Like, cause she's so ready to have the kid. And I'm like checking my phone, like every 5 minutes, like I told her, I'm like, call me. If you go in labor, call me, I'll leave. Like, but I signaled the offense for the team too. So they had nobody else that knew how to signal but me. And so I, keep checking my phone. We pull off the upset. I call her. I'm like, yeah, I'm so excited. We beat the number 1 team in the state. It was an awesome game. She's like, yeah, I'm walking into the hospital right now. Like, she started to have contractions, and her mom drove her to the hospital, and it was halftime, and we started playing well, and the game's back and forth. So her and her mom sat in the hospital parking lot and listened to the game till it got over, and then went in, and it ended up being Braxton Hicks. We don't have him for another 6-8 days, but it was just
you'll never forget it though.
Yeah,
never forget that on many levels. What is your proudest moment as a coach?
There's all kinds of
it'd be hard to pick one.
Yeah, obviously just the relationships I built over all the years, but just being, every playoff game, like, going back to the biggest games, like, I never got to be in a playoff game in high school or college. So anytime I've been involved with a team that was able to get in the playoffs, like, I'm just living through those kids. Like those environments are so special, and like obviously those games are the most memorable ones, all the playoff games. When we slayed the Dragon in 04, we get in the playoffs for the first time in 14 years, and then we play that Alito team and the home playoff game, and and we end up beating them. And thinking back to that coaching staff, like, we were all so young. Like, Coach Hubbard and Coach Valles were like in their 30s. Right. I'm 19, 20, like Nuke's 22. We were so young. It was crazy. And that Gibson City game, anyone that was at it, like, it was just an amazing game. Like, and then being on the first and only team that in Galesburg's only won one playoff game in history. 2016, we beat Peoria High in the regular season, then we won our first round playoff game. And
I didn't realize they've only won one in history.
One in school history, yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, so.
I mean, I knew there was a long dry spell, but I didn't realize.
Yeah.
Dang.
And then, in those games, I wasn't a coordinator. Coming back in the 21 season, I was helping out with the defense. They got a tough draw with Bishop Mack, and that kind of stunk. But 22, like, that was an awesome run too.
Oh yeah,
beating Unity in the first round of the playoffs, and that Bismarck game was so similar to the Gibson City game, how they were both back and forth. So just being involved in those playoff games have been awesome.
Yeah, like I said, I know it's hard to pick a proudest moment, but I don't coach anymore. As a former coach, like, they're all proud moments.
Yeah.
I mean,
right.
Any success is a proud moment. And even some of your failures are a proud moment because, like, you all got something out of it,
Right. And to pat myself on the back a little bit, like, probably the best game plan I ever had was that first round game in 22 against Unity. Like, Wash and Heb came over to the garage Tuesday, and we were just sitting around and talking and stuff, and brought that game up. Like, I'd game planned so much that I knew if they ran this motion, what play was coming. Like, we had it down, like, knew their entire offense, and, like, I try to do that for every team, but I was able to pick it up, like, and the kids bought into the game plan. So, like, my own personal proudest of myself, like, that game plan was lights out. Like, it was really good.
And it worked.
It did.
Your job well done on that one. So, moving along here, this is kind of like, I guess I just asked your proudest moment. What's your most memorable? Is there a most memorable moment? It could be a specific play. Maybe it's your game plan you just talked about. It could be a practice. I don't know. And maybe that's a hard question. Maybe it's a repeat.
Yeah, it's a real hard question because there's so many of them. But, you know, those big games, like I kind of mentioned, the Peoria High game, the Leroy game.
Was it scooping snow off the football field on the frozen field?
Yeah.
That was that 22? Was that the good one?
No, that was I was actually at Galesburg still during that one.
Oh, really?
That was 19.
I didn't realize it that long ago.
Yeah, that was the
Never mind.
That was the 19 year, but you know, I got the kids to bed and I saw that they were looking for people, so I walked down to just try to help out, you know.
That was a crazy year.
And that run, I was, you know, still at Galesburg, but that was cool because I was able to bring my kids to the game.
Right.
And I remember after that second round game against Watseka, you know, cool comeback. You know, we won. We're moving on to the quarterfinals, still undefeated. And I remember walking out on the field with Gentry. He was, I don't know how we're rolling, you know, 5, 6, 7-ish. And I just got down on one knee and I looked him in the eye. I'm like, look around. Remember this. Yeah, like, this is what you want to play in when you're in high school. Like, remember this moment right now. Like, because I remember those when I was a kid.
Yeah. So. And for a lot of kids, that's the pinnacle. That's as high as it gets. That's the biggest rush you get in sports. And, like, even as I sit up in the booth announcing, you know, like, I still feel like you said, the Saturday games, like, it's just a whole different feel. It's fun. Like, and it's fun that the only thing that sucks is the kids don't realize what they're in. They don't realize, like, it could be over in 4 quarters. They don't know it till later. And I guess that's what's like, guys, you got to, like, understand this, you know, but they don't.
I think that's the hardest thing as a coach is getting kids to understand what they're about to lose in a short time. We all get it now. We've lost it. It's like anything else. You don't appreciate anything until you lose it.
100%.
You know, and if I had that secret sauce to make kids figure that out, I'd probably be a millionaire or coaching at the highest level. Like, I don't know how you get that through to kids. I try, and you know, but
it's hard. It's life. I mean, no generation's ever going to figure it out. It's just a part of life. But I would say, as far as memorable moments go, this is just my own memorable moment. So that Bismarck-Henning game, Rick and I went. It was like 80-mile-per-hour winds, cold. I had to run the camera, so I was up in the booth. I know you've heard this story, and it's a great story. And I'm gonna plug Ritz in this story at the end of it because I always do. But I was sitting right next to Ritz and Wash, and that's the first time I've ever been in earshot during a game. Like I said before, I'm a fan on the surface. Like, I know about football, but I don't know football. I could never coach high school football. But hearing, like, Wash and Ritz talk to you, Hubbard, and the fact that you guys, like, Wash would be watching something. He'd, like, a guy go in motion maybe, I don't know. And he knew what play was coming, and he was right. Like, Rick and I were just like, it blew me away. So, like, that's when I noticed the details of how, I think I know football. I don't know football. And you mentioned how you had game plans and everything, but it just blows my mind. And what people probably don't realize is how coordinated the effort is and how many hours you guys put in, not just on the field, but to learn this stuff. But it was just, that was memorable to me because then I had a whole different appreciation for every game because I'm like, dude, these guys aren't just like, oh, come on, guys, let's play hard. They're, you know, like, crazy. So I give props to all of you guys, like, from the beginners to the veterans in coaching. Like, it's nuts to me. It's also the game Ritz about got us murdered by running his mouth and cussing at him and then leaving. Yeah. And Wash and Rick and I were like, we might have to fight our way out of this box. So I'll miss that. Poor Ritz getting angry and worked up. He wasn't even angry. He was worked up. But so you've coached, obviously, with a lot of great coaches, assistant coaches, head coaches. Is there any that you would say have been the most influential or your biggest role model coming through the years?
You know, like you said, there's so many great guys that I've been able to be on staff with and coach under and coach alongside. Like, you know, the head coaches I've been able to work under are Toby Vallis, Ryan Hubbard, Tim Doherty, and Michael Washball. Like, and Tim's already in the Hall of Fame. Toby and Coach Hubbard will probably end up in the Hall of Fame. Mm-hmm. And if Mike Washball would have continued to coach, probably had been in the Hall of Fame. And then, you know, so to be able to coach under that many great coaches and learn from them is like been lights out. And I've learned so much just, and it's like anything else. You take all the good things that they do and you try to, you know, mold it. And I can't, like I've said before, I can't be any of those guys. Like, I got to be me, but I can use all the things I've learned from those guys.
100%. Yeah. Make your own lasting impression, you know? You talked about Peoria High being number one team. Who was the most dominant player you've ever had to stand on the sidelines and watch put the hurt on you, on your kids?
And I'm going to divide that up a little bit because Galesburg, Knoxville, like playing different levels of competition. Like that 21 team, Bishop Mac got put into 2A. Like we all know, like they had two kids go play D. They're two running backs. Like I think one ended up at Minnesota and one went to Tennessee and then transferred. I mean, they had two legit D1 guys. And going into that game, we kind of thought it was a muddy, slippery field, and we thought that would play to our advantage. I think that was a disadvantage to us because Peyton Hankins could have busted off a couple runs that he did in the regular season, but he lost his footing, you know, and that there's a lot into that game that we could have, you know, but those two kids were really lights out. And then in 22, we ran into Downs in the quarterfinals, and
they had some dudes.
They had some dudes. They had a guard and a linebacker that could have played in 5-6A football, hands down.
Yeah.
And then the running back runs all over us. And Jackson Johnson set a 2A rushing record against Bismarck. And then we turn around the next week and the kid from Downs breaks our kid's record. So, you know, those kids stick out in recent memory. Obviously, back when I was young at Knoxville, like there was a lot of good ones. Nothing sticks out, you know, like that went on to play like D1 or in the fresh memory. But my years at Galesburg, Rock Island had a kid by the name of Derek Willies. And I remember we were prepping that week, and Coach Doherty was the head coach at the time, and he goes, this was back before huddle was real big, because a lot of people don't know, kind of spinning back to breaking down film and the work we did. Back in the day, you had to like drive.
Meet a coach
and trade film. So then all your staff had to sit and watch that film together on VHS or DVD or whatever, you know. Now Huddle spun it where everyone can do their work at home, and then we meet for a much shorter time. So we were watching film and as a staff together, and Coach Doherty gets up. He's like, I'll be back. And he leaves, and the rest of us continue doing what we're doing. And he comes back like, where'd you go? He's like, I called Jimmy. Well, Jimmy's his son, and at the time, his son was the wide receiver coach at the University of Washington. And he's like, I called Jimmy and said, get this kid on your recruiting list right now.
From Rock Island,
yeah. And so, long story short, I think he went to like Texas Tech and then ends up back at Iowa. But then I'm watching an NFL game. He like caught on with the Browns and played some receiver for the Browns.
Oh, well, shoot.
And then that when Wash was the coach and I was working under him, Moline's receiver, defensive back, stud, Matthew Bailey, he's now the starting safety at Illinois. And he was unreal, like phenomenal athlete. And he's getting sniffs from the NFL. But then that Peoria High team was probably the best group. Like Caron Taylor was their quarterback. And during the COVID year, he got a start at quarterback for Illinois. They had a kid named Marcus Cox, was an O-line D lineman that played at like Northern Illinois. I think he played at another big school before he transferred. And then Kendrick Green went to the University of Illinois, got drafted in the third round by the Steelers, and he's still playing for the Texans. Like and we were
So you
pulled off an upset against that team. So yeah,
come across some like legit studs.
Yeah, like dudes still playing in the league right now.
That's crazy. Kind of cool though. I mean, it's to be on the same field as, you know. If you could have one do-over as a coach, what would be your do-over?
I've grown so much. Like, I would not scream and yell as much as I used to when I was young. There's times that I will, like, and if you ask Bryden, like, Monday I screamed and yelled at him a little bit, but I don't do it all the time. When I was young, I thought that's what coaching was.
I remember up in the booth seeing you go crazy a few times, which it happens,
right?
Whatever.
But when I was young, I did it almost too much.
Right.
Like, it didn't mean as much.
It lost its luster.
Right.
Yeah.
Now I'm more calm. Then when I do, it almost means more. So I think just kind of that, like, learning to pick and choose your moments of getting worked up.
Yeah,
and
that makes sense. Anyways, so I'm not the only one that thinks, you know, obviously I've told you congratulations on being hired here. I truly think, you know, it's the perfect fit. You're not just a guy looking for a coaching job. You're a guy that has ties, your kids, your youth. I mean, everything. You want success. Even when you weren't here, you wanted success for here. So now you get to, you know, do your part to see that success through. Like I talked about, just hearing over the headset, you coach with other coaches and everything, I think it's a good fit. It's a personal fit. I just read my personal thoughts. It's a positive fit for the kids, for the community. You've already done great things getting the community involved, which I think has lost over the years, and that's nothing against the old staff, you know, by any means. It's just new ideas are coming in, so, you know. But I'm hoping for the best for you, for your staff, for your players, for everybody. And, you know, hopefully it's nothing but positive, but only time will tell.
Yeah, I appreciate all the kind words. Like, I'm super excited, like you said, being a Knoxville alum, not former Knoxville football player, like, and, you know, like I said, those years I was at Galesburg, obviously my concentration was Galesburg, but as soon as we got on the bus and start checking scores, first thing I'm looking up is what Knoxville do.
Yeah.
Like, because Coach Eber and I are great friends, and so I still cared. And a lot of people don't realize either, like, one of my strong suits is my film breakdown, what I do on Huddle. Like, those years that Galesburg wasn't in the playoffs and Knoxville was, I would do film breakdown. And I never came to meetings or anything, but I would try to help them out when I could. Like, I always cared.
Herbert and Ritz have both said that you and Wash can watch a film and it's like magic. It's like, holy crap, you know. Especially like me, I'll watch a game or a play like, oh yeah, that was a good run. But I've missed 40 things that made it a good run. You know, that's what just blows my mind. Like, I'm fascinated by it. So, like I said, it's a positive. Hopefully, it continues to be a positive for years to come, and the program continues to grow.
You'd mentioned that the community and everybody's not always going to agree with everything I do, but I care about every kid. I want Knoxville athletics to succeed. Yes, my main focus is Knoxville football, but I want boys and girls golf, wrestling, basketball, football, baseball. I mean, I want Knoxville athletics to be great, like, because I care about this place. And, like, we got to get back to tugging on the rope in the same direction. It doesn't matter if you agree with every single thing, but just tug with me. I'll tug with you. And
100%.
And if we tug in the right direction, even if we don't agree on everything,
100%.
It's best for the kids.
100%. But there's a lot of ego that's built up over the years around here, and a lot of pride or in whatever, and it tends to get in the way. So you mentioning you want all Knoxville to do great. This leads me to just something I noticed, and it maybe is not related, but I noticed you have a spot on the guest bartending wrestling fundraiser. How'd you get roped into that?
Well, some of the wrestling dads come to the Friends of Knoxville football golf outing, and they approach and ask if I had anything going on that night, and if I was interested. And, like I said a long time or earlier, I want all of the football guys to be multiple sport athletes. And, like, to me, I'm phony if I don't try to help those other programs when I can.
Agreed.
I had nothing going on that night. Absolutely. If I can help you, let me help you.
And if that brings in some of your, quote, football group, it's good for the cause.
Exactly.
The whole cause. So I told Elizabeth, I'm like, Marty's kid's gonna start wrestling? She goes, they play basketball. I go, maybe not now. I don't know.
And it's funny because I was a basketball player, but every winter I'm like, you want to play basketball again? Yeah. Do you want to try wrestling? No. Okay. I'm not in it, but I'm not. Just because I was a basketball guy, if they want to be a wrestling guy, that's
I started
fine.
Caleb in wrestling. We tried basketball when he was little, and it was horrendously awful in every way. He didn't like it. He wasn't good at it. I coached it. I would get mad, not that he wasn't good, but because he didn't care, and it's just, so I was like, you're not going to do nothing. So we tried wrestling, and it took a couple years. I mean, because you get your ass kicked. I mean, it is what it is. But then we realized there's no basketball players in our house. So we got Bryden into it. Bryden picked it up natural. He's a natural at it, and Camden Paxton. So not have anything against basketball,
right?
But it's a whole different world. But I didn't know if maybe there was a shift coming in the Turner household from basketball to wrestling, but.
Nope,
that's all right.
Not to my knowledge. If it changes in the future, it changes in the future.
I mean, basketball needs numbers around here. We know that. So personal life a little bit. You and your wife, Tara, you've been married for how long?
We got married in 2012, so this would be 13 years in June.
You got to get it right.
Yeah, I did. I learned from Rick's mistake on that.
Yeah, he did. That was funny. He's like, yeah, whatever. You have two kids, Gentry and Paxton. How old are they?
Gentry's 11 and Pax is 8. So yeah.
So what grades is that?
Going to be 6th and 3rd.
All right. I guess as a family, you guys have a favorite family activity? Something you consistently do? Place you go to eat? Anything?
Kind of, You know how it is, kids, they'd say McDonald's for everything.
Oh, yeah.
But like of local places, obviously here in town, it's like Alfano's or Beaver's Teeth or Big Cats or whatever. But if we go into Galesburg, like a sit-down place, it's usually like Buffalo Wild Wings or Sidetracks. They like Sidetracks, which I'm cool with.
Yeah, 100%. Dead Week's coming up, which is your only time to get away. I think you mentioned you're going to St. Louis, maybe?
Yeah, we're going to go to the Cardinals game with some friends on that Friday night, so looking forward to that and getting the kids down to that game and stuff.
Yeah, we took the kids 2 seasons ago. Took them all down there. And Camden plays baseball. He enjoyed it. The other 3 don't play baseball, so they're like, whatever. I'm like, you guys are watching professional athletes, man. Like, it's a huge deal. They're like, I don't get it. Like, whatever.
We've gone to some like Illinois football games and basketball games and stuff, and the kids love it. And like, I've talked to some other, me and Breyer and Andy and Flesher and Steve Howe. We have a Illini group chat, so we text all the time. And we've had the conversation like, Breyer, I don't know how you did it. Like, there was a lot of bad Illinois football and basketball growing up. And I'm trying to explain to my kids now, like, they're pretty good now, and you don't realize what I had to go through. No, like, you guys are pretty lucky. So they enjoy going to those games and stuff.
I've never been to an Illinois game. And I don't know why. Like, I mean, it's 2.5 hours away. I don't know why I'll go. It'd be something fun. But yeah, anything. Like I said, we are going to kick off a weekly sit down. My brainstorming thoughts are probably the Sunday prior to week 1 game. Makes most sense. I don't think we need to talk about the Meet the Bullets night prior because that's a photo op.
Hopefully the Bullets win.
Yeah. At least one of them, But I don't know if you have anything to add but that's about all I had. I appreciate, like I said, short notice. You contacted me and, hey, let's have a sit down. Sure. I'm always down for it.
Yeah, no, I appreciate you reaching out and it's been a good, fun conversation.
But yeah, we will continue this hopefully for 13, 14 weeks. Once week 1 starts, it'll be at least 9. But like I said, best of luck to you, your staff, your players, your family, because it's going to change for them too, I'm sure. Not that you haven't been busy with football the past, 20 years, but I'm sure they're excited for it too. We're all excited for it. I thank you for your commitment to the kids because you got one of mine on there. They'll be better for it on and off the field. So that is all I have. So for those of you that listened, we've been sitting down with new Knoxville High School head coach Marty Turner, just discussing I guess you can rewind it and listen to it. I don't know why you'd be listening to it at the end. But we will be back again here in 4 weeks?
Yes.
Before that first game. And we'll just keep everybody updated from here on out. So thank you, Marty. I appreciate it. And thank everyone for listening, and we'll see you everybody next time.